Konnichiwa and hello everyone. My name is Adrian Cully.
And I'm Haruto
with Horizon International, and today we are bringing you Horizon Bindery Part 2, the third video in our larger Breaking the iCE series where we tell you all about iCE from start to finish.
We focused on production in the last Horizon Bindery video. Today, I want to analyze the performance of the operator using iCE's KPI analysis tool.
I'm really looking forward to this one. So Haruto, tell us, why is KPI analysis so important for our customers?
That's a good question. In recent years, the bookbinding industry and possibly other industry as well have been facing problems with the rising labor cost and shortage of human resources. So increasing the efficiency of your employee and performance of your machine is crucial for the survival of the company and can improve the job turnaround time. The analysis shows us how to do that.
I see. But working with data can get really complicated and kind of confusing. What do you have to say for people who have no experience with that type of work?
You don't worry about anything complex. The iCE automatically collects the data from the machine and creates the graph for the analysis for you. After some study, you can use it even if you are not experienced.
I see, that's impressive. Can you show me what that looks like now?
Why not?
Okay.
But before the analysis, let me tell you why iCE will be essential to you, starting with cost.
Okay, so if we look at the cost structure of a bindery, we have production costs, material costs, operating costs, and so on. But these are elements that are largely determined at the quotation stage.
That's right. However, the labor cost is only element that fluctuate after production has begun. To remain profitable, labor cost must be kept within a certain range. To do this, you need to know exact labor cost. In the other words, what laborers are doing every minute. But in addition to production time, there were some other factors such as changeover, error stuff, and small stuff that are difficult to see at first glance. KPI analysis function make this invisible time visible. This will enable you to reduce labor cost and increase the proportion of productive time.
Okay, so that leads to improved work and increased profits.
Exactly. Today, we would like to analyze the production data from Horizon Bindery, focusing on two functions, worker analysis and comparative analysis. Worker analysis is a function compared to the productivity of different operators.
And is that graph created automatically by iCE?
Yes, it is. You can see here it is very useful when you want to get a rough idea of the skill level of the operators. Please look at Nori and Natsu using BQ300.
And just to be absolutely clear, they're operating the same exact machine.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
But we can see some of the difference. Nori is an experienced operator who routinely demonstrates the machine to the customers. In contrast, Natsu usually does technical support, so she is not frequently operate the equipment. Although they both did well, but you can see the difference in experience is reflected in result. It is natural that Nori has 20 years of experience and routinely operate the machine is more effective.
So the most important thing would be to create a proper training program so that the new employees can become as experienced as the more experienced ones.
Correct. Now let's move to the comparative analysis. In comparative analysis, you can check the trend of 3 factors for specific machines: productivity, performance, and total operation time. Select the machine used by Nori and Natsu and specify the shooting period for Horizon Bindery. Then the graph for each factor will be displayed. Let's check productivity. This means the achievement rate against the maximum hourly production volume. Looking at it over time, you can see the there is a large difference in immediately after the start of work here. And next, let's look at the performance. This indicates the absence of the issue during production. If the downtime due to error is 0, the performance will be 100%. The both are nearly 100%, so it appears there was no issues. Total operation time records the result of the machine during specified period. This helps clarify the reason for the difference in productivity immediately after the start of the operation. First, let's look at Nori's machine. Running was 2 hours and 24 minutes. Stopping was 2 hours and 28 minutes. And error was 4 minutes. The running and stopping are almost the same value.
Okay, so if I see Natsu's data, I can see that running was 1 hour 40 minutes, and stopping was 3 hours 19 minutes, and she had no errors. So there were no errors, but she had more stop time than Nori-san? So maybe it just took her longer to prepare her materials?
Unfortunately, this is not possible to identify the direct cause why Natsu had to stop work frequently on ice rink. However, considering there was a difference in productivity immediately after start of work and the downtime was wrong, there were no error stop. So it is thought the main cause was not mechanical problem, but rather factor related to the work process.
Okay, so maybe she just took longer to fine-tune to get the perfect bind, loading, preparing her materials, or just finding the right production flow between the HT300, the BQ300, and her production partner.
Yes, those are very likely scenarios.
But honestly, these things can be easily improved, and they're not entirely her fault. These challenges aren't merely due to a lack of experience, but can also be related to structural challenges, such as insufficient initial response skills, poor workflow design, inadequate equipment layout, and just poor standardization in preparation tasks. So what are some solutions that we can come up with based on the iCE Link data for these issues?
That's correct. Here are 4 specific solutions I suggest. First, time measurement for each work process. By measuring the time spent on each process, such as preparation, adjustment, and transportation, it is possible to quantitatively identify which processes are taking the most time. Second, establishing standard operating procedure, including visual manual or videos will be established to enable even inexperienced operator to perform tasks with consistent quality and speed. Third, simulation training is very useful for dangerous tasks or complex tasks and tasks which failure can result in significant losses. It allows for training while avoiding risks. Fourth, strengthening supporting initial implementation. When new operators are assigned to a task for the first time, experienced operator will provide support to improve efficiency of adjustment and transportation.
And this one is really important. For example, we can see Nori-san is really productive. So if we shorten his working time a little bit, it shouldn't change the fact that he can still get his work done, but it'll give him more time to train new operators so that they can become as efficient as he is as an experienced operator.
Yes, that's right. iCE Link is great for telling us how to allocate resources.
I am understanding. In this way, it's important to create a system that achieves reproducible work quality and efficiency, rather than relying solely on the skill differences of operators. In this case, Our analysis was conducted using only a few hours of data, but if we collected and accumulated data over weeks or months, we could create much more precise improvement proposals and also standardization in operation.
One of the key goals of the iCE link is to make the cost structure of your labor expenses transparent. So finally, let me give you a hint to calculate how much of the difference iCE link can make the production value. According to the iCE link log, Nori worked from 1017 to 1242, completing 495 books. In contrast, Natsu worked from 1019 to 1244, completed 448 books. On hourly basis, this translates to 205 for Nori versus 185 for Natsu.
Okay, so the difference is just 20 books. I mean, that's not really that big of a deal.
It might not seem like much, but that's not just 20 books. Let's see what the difference means over a month. Let's resume freelance VQ300 under this condition. 5 hours of operation per day, 3 days a week, 4 weeks a month. When we do the math, that small hourly difference balloons into the gap of 1,200 books per month.
Okay, now I understand, because for a compact machine like the BQ300, that's a significant number.
Exactly. If you know how much each book costs using operation salary, production cost, and material cost, you can see how much profit per month you can gain or you are losing.
Okay, and you can really use that for so many things. For example, if you can see how much profit is gained or lost from each book, then you can see how much it costs per job, and then you can use that to analyze things like which substrates are the best value for your production and see where things might need to change. It's important to note that not every issue is an operator error, and we can identify other issues with iCE Link as well.
So Adrian, what do you think?
After we went through it, honestly, I think that it's really user-friendly.
Good to hear. This analysis was conducted using only few hours of data, so it would be much more accurate and informative if the data were collected over several weeks or months. If the productivity of the machine doubles, it is same as installing another new machine. And the subscription cost of iCE Link is much cheaper than machine price.
All right, well, I think that's the perfect place to end it. Don't forget, this is only Horizon Bindery Part 2. Next, we are bringing you Part 3, where we go behind the scenes in Kyoto with our technical support team to show you how they are using iCE Link to help you. Until then, if you have any questions about iCE Link, you can always visit our website or contact your local representative for more information. But until then, make sure you stay happy, stay healthy, connect to iCE Link, and finish first with Horizon. Bye.